At 15 seconds, guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. We have a liftoff. Liftoff on Apollo. Now, I'm sure that most of you know the old story about the astronaut who went far out into space and was asked on his return whether he had been to heaven and seen God. And he said yes.
Greetings, ladies, gentlemen, non-binaries, and sentient artificial intelligence. Join us on this journey to find the others. Because no matter where we find ourselves in this multiverse, the act of existing is all too familiar.
Guys? Is anybody out there? Hello?
The mushroom has a tremendous problem-solving ability.
Herb is a plant. I mean, herbs are good for everything.
As we look across this great expanse and stare at the stars, we can't help but be reminded these lights, though we're seeing them all at the same time, happen across a multi-billion-year delta. Some of those fires burned millions of years ago, some billions, but all of them happened so we could experience them in this one singular moment.
They called us scouts. They called us seekers. They called us Hoosier. But we were destined to question everything.
I don't know about you, but as for me, the question has already been answered. Should we be here? Yes.
It's the Hoosier Sophisticate Show. Question all the things that you know. Steve likes the weed. Steve likes the weed. Tell you about DMT. Let DMT. Hoosier Sophisticate Show. The Hoosier Sophisticate Show. Hoosiers with the dream. Sophisticated blasphemy. It's the Hoosier Sophisticate Show. Question all the things that you know. So let's set our minds free for the singularity. It's the Hoosier Sophisticate Show. The Hoosier Sophisticate Show.
Oh, it's Monday.
Hey everybody, look at those new freaking chat message bar over there.
This is so cool.
That is so cool, man.
Welcome, ladies, gentlemen, non-binary, sentient artificial intelligence. All the smears are like, but I'll tell you what, there's a lot of the new, well, let's just say a lot of the sophisticated Hoosier Steve are shitting in high society these days.
They're starting to catch on, Krager McGregor.
They are.
They're not dirty schmears anymore.
They're not damn dirty smears, I'll tell you that. What's going on, brother? What a week.
I have papers. I have
prepared
things going on.
We got a hell of a show. We have 2 new sponsors, 3 really, but we haven't signed on the dotted line with the Spanish Society, but we will do that soon. But we got Sweet Leaf Emporium, as you can see right here. If you haven't been out to Farmington, they have a new store in Festus. The coolest shop you been in, buddy?
I'm a big fan. Big fan of everybody down. First of all, it is one of the coolest shops ever. I mean, you're just immersed in color, and when you walk in there, they've got just 5-6 foot tall amethysts hanging out, and behind the counter, buddy, that might be the coolest little gem of the whole joint. They got a whole drum set up, all the axes. We're gonna go up there and shred with our guy Jason.
Oh, I want to shred it, baby.
Shred it.
They always have good music bumping
No
in
doubt.
the place too.
No
It's just
doubt.
a very good feel, great vibe. I love everything about those people. They got me introduced to the Matthews family.
Yes.
Like, that's a huge part of our life now. Our Hoosiers of the Year raised $650. 2 of them.
Yep.
Our 2 last Hoosiers of the Year.
Yep.
Raised $650 in one instance.
Yep.
For this family.
Yep.
And people right now with compromised immune systems got to be feeling the fear way more than a lot of us.
No
So
doubt.
we have to think about them. We have to, put others in your fucking head. Okay? Like, think about other people
No
for
doubt.
once, I mean, come on.
Come on, man.
Dang it, man.
The setup's awesome. What's really cool is they're soon to be opening another
Festus.
location in Festus, which is a little bit
Festus.
closer to me, a lot of bit closer to a lot of our fans. But we have friends down in Farmington and further south.
Tell them about this, too.
Okay, that's the deal. You
And
talked
that
about
thing.
raising money, and buddy, kudos to you. I want to commend you for getting out there and doing a Live Aid style concert.
Called it my concert for Bangladesh.
Concert for Bangladesh. That's what it was. It was great, man. It got people engaged, and basically this was the deal we gave everybody. You put $5, you donate $5 to Aubrey Strong on PayPal. We'll get you a link to it. You donate $5 to Aubrey Strong. For every $5 that you donate, we're going to give you a chance to win this easy butter machine and this kind pen.
Herb butter or oil in about 10 minutes.
It's pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool, buddy. It's
We can't win it.
This is we can't
Already
win it.
asked.
I know. I believe me, I know. We're gonna have to probably just get a couple of them. But
What do we got over here for our? I like these new. Read these things off here, Mike. You want to read those off? Some of our comments. Let's say hi to Mike, everybody.
Jennifer Barra got Sweet Leaf Emporium. That place is awesome. We got Dennison Collard looking cool in the pic with the. I'm sorry, what's that say?
with the geode, yeah.
All right, we got some Crystal Rachel Crawford in here. Aaron, hey, what's up? Missy, I like the Rogan setup. Okay.
All right.
Rogan said.
I think it's the table. We're sitting across from one
I get
another.
it.
bullshit.
Best primetime show on Monday. Thank you. That's thanks to them guys.
Oh
They fucking
yeah,
do it.
that's what I'm talking about. It's not gonna
Pull
be as
your
good as
tongue
last
out
week.
of my also, Gary.
Oh shoot. So okay, so we're not broken as people. So we're gonna do the show and it's gonna be great. We got a lot of good things going on.
There's
buddy.
so many good
so
things.
many good things
There
going
are
on.
things that are
We're
good.
fine. We're great. Everybody's great. We're doing great right
We are
now.
doing great.
We got a new setup. We're excited about that. We have Mike, another minute with Mike, where we read pandemic pickup lines last time. This time a little something different.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think it's going to have the juice. It's not going to have the juice of the pickup lines. That just comes so naturally to a couple of guys like us. Going to a couple of wild and crazy guys.
I know. Turpy. They're saying it's Turpy. Your ad, too. We should put that on here.
What the hell are we thinking?
I don't
We
know.
probably
You're-
get on-
I do everything.
What do we do?
I don't know.
We got a psychedelic scrapbook for them.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna tease your little Missouri Cannabis Open.
Should we give them the native hemp commercial that we made?
You know, I think now's as good a time
Now's
as
as good
any.
a time as any to give them the old
Guys,
native hemp.
our other newest sponsor, Native Hemp Extract. If you go to HoosierSophisticate.com, there's a tab, Native Hemp Extract. You click on that tab, okay? You click on the bottle. You
There.
go. It's going to take you to CBD Canvas. And what you're going to do there is you're going to enter Hoosier 10, okay? You enter Hoosier 10 at checkout after you add it to the cart at CBD Canvas. It's going to give you an additional 10% off the already discounted price. This is 1,800 milligrams of cannabinoids of just pure goodness. It's my I'm not saying this lightly. It's my favorite CBD tincture I have ever used.
It's delightful.
Ever. It's amazing.
And we're pretty positive it's not a drink. And 10% of all of it goes to Aiden's Alliance.
10% of all sales this month goes to Aiden's Alliance.
That's huge.
Big.
Why not buy your CBD and give back? That's what we're trying to do.
Yep.
everything that we're involved in, hopefully a little bit goes back to the community around us, because that's the way we're going to raise each other up. Raise. We will hit me with it. Hit me with it. Hit me with the chords. And we will raise you up, and I will heal you more, and I will heal you more, and let me heal you, baby, now. So that's the deal with the hemp extract. So you guys get it. You guys get it.
You guys get it. Let's give them a little commercial for native hemp extract.
All right. Here's the commercial for native hemp. Hey, boys and girls. I'm talking about native hemp extract. That CBD.
That CBD.
Get inside of me.
Inside of me.
That CBD.
That CBD.
Sweet delicious CBD. That CBD.
That CBD.
Got the CBD native hemp. That CBD.
That CBD.
You can get it from me.
I can.
That CBD.
That CBD.
Inside of me.
Inside of me.
That CBD.
That CBD.
Inside of me.
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 No. Inside of me.
Inside of me.
Inside of me.
Native hemp extract. 1,800 milligrams of total cannabinoid goodness from Pike County, Illinois. Get yours at HooterSophisticate.com. They're our newest sponsors. If you guys go to HooterSophisticate.com, you can click on the Native Hemp Extract tab, and you can get 10% off if you enter Hoosier10 at checkout. After you add it to your cart, right before you're about to check out for CBD Canvas, do it. Enter Hoosier10. You're going to get 10% off the already discounted price.
Oh, shit. We got a lot of good comments coming in. I think the people liked it.
We do what we can.
We do what we can to bring joy
honestly,
to the masses.
It's so much fun to make commercials
for
these people that we love. We love this product. Like, we're not going to be shills for some garbage.
I love the people who follow
Yes.
the show, and I want them. I just need someone to narrow down the list of everything for me.
There's a lot of good stuff out there.
Totally. But if someone just said, hey, I am trustworthy, and these have worked for me and for many other people, like, that's what we're all about. That's what we're trying to do. Those are the relationships we're trying to cultivate here. But, you know, if Pepsi or Coke wants to get on board with what we're doing, we'll throw all of this away. We'll throw all this away for big corporation money. So if you guys are out there listening,
yeah,
we got you.
For sure. Get these freaks out of here. Steve, let's listen. There's been a lot of stuff going on, but we want to keep things light and airy. A little piece of us maybe has died over the last couple of days.
No.
This is happy times. Happy times. Here's what we're going to do.
Could a sad guy do this? Nope.
No, he sure couldn't. No, I don't think he could. He couldn't find the groove. Let's tell some stories, man. Tell me a story, would you?
I don't know if I've told you about the time I almost contracted the disease diabetes.
You almost contracted diabetes.
Yes.
Well,
okay, so I'm 7. My cousin's 8. He gets diabetes, and him and I were the type to. We would steal Vest soda. We would.
Oh, thanks, James. I'm not sure what was giving a little interference there, but we're glad it's not there anymore.
Yeah, make sure all the connections are tight, Mike. Oh yeah, okay.
You're real dismissive.
Okay, so we're 8, 9, right in that region. And my cousins lived in South County, you know, went to St. Margaret Mary, and they were kind of like, oh, hey, I put my, you know, do one of these. Hey, man, you know.
That's what they do?
Yeah, and so they were a little bit better than us who grew up in the city. Okay, I grew up on the streets, man, the hard streets of the city. So when I would go hang out with my cousin, it was always kind of like, oh, what's up? You know, I was kind of like tough kid, even though
you
I
were
was
like Craig,
pussy.
and he was like Day.
Exactly.
All right.
And so I'm there, I'm having a good time, and we would steal bottles of Vest soda and chug them, and that was like
Steal
our
'em?
first, like at a family event.
I got you. Sneak them off.
We'd sneak them off
out.
to ourselves, and they'd be like, "Wouldn't I have 4 things of grape? No, we're only down to 2." And me and him would have like purple mouths, just be like, just having a good time. So he ends up getting the diabetes. So I'm like, I'm gonna get the diabetes. We got it. We do this together. And then like, diabetes was like, dude's eating asparagus for dinner. Dude's eating broccoli with nothing on it. He gets one little treat, and it's these glucose tabs that I would actually eat all of them. And so they would have to go get more. They were delicious. So that's the only thing. So I was petrified. The worst thing that could have happened to me at 8 years old is getting diabetes.
Because he had to eat all of the grains.
Because he had to eat the healthiest shit ever. And like, the saddest thing was Halloween for this dude. And it's like, oh... How's the diabetes candy coming in the bag? How much diabetes candy did you get? And he's like, I didn't get any diabetes candy. And I'm like, oh, well, you better share that with your boy, with your cousin Steve. Oh, man. He's like, here. And he had to give me all his candy on Halloween. His parents would be like, give him all the candy. Give him the candy, boy. That's made up. So the night, I'm spending the night at his house, okay? And I thought I was losing you, so I wanted to...
No, I'm with you, buddy.
So we're at the house, and I'm jackassing around, and I see that he had this gray little tool that if you hit the end of it, it shot the needle into your finger, and that's where you got the blood on the
take a little
thing.
sample.
So I was messing with it. I thought he had used it already. So I'm like, oh, this is a used one, whatever. Pop, it's like a pen, cool. Poop! Pop my finger.
Oh, no.
Now I got the diabetes in me. So I start I'm over at the fucking thing, and I'm like, squirt it out, man. I'm like, I got it in me. So I'm like, I go to bed, and it's like time to go to bed. And I'm like, fuck, I'm like trying to hide this thing like a pregnancy test, a 15-year-old with a pregnancy test. I'm like trying to hide it somewhere, and I start feeling sick. We go to bed. I'm laying in bed, and I'm like, oh, I can feel it coursing. It's through me. I've eaten so much sugar already. It's probably already destroying me. I got it. I go up to the bathroom. I'm puking. I'm sweating bullets. I'm as sick as I've ever been in my life. And I'm crying. I'm like, oh God. I'm on the ground. I'm like, my aunt comes in. She's like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, there's nothing wrong. I didn't even want to tell her, like I had used a heroin needle or something. You know what I mean? I'm like, I can't even bring myself to tell you what I did to myself.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I said something in the corner, and she's like, okay. And she's kind of mean, but she was being real nice or whatever. And I'm like, she's like, what's wrong? Is something you ate? Something, like, what's up? And I'm like, I stabbed myself with the diabetes needle. And she's like, hey, idiot, that's not how you get diabetes. And I was like, for real? Shoot. All right. I went to bed in 5 seconds, dude. I was like, shit, you can't get it that way? All right, immediately feel better, dude.
Thanks.
Such a psychosomatic happenstance,
Sure.
though,
Yeah, you're
that
scared.
it's never
Silly
left
little
me. I was
kid.
like, dude, you made yourself as sick as you've ever been from fucking your brain.
Real quick before we lose this, Corey Gray said, for the record, Steven has told this story before, but it was way in the early days. OG.
I love it. Thanks, Corey. We were wondering. Oh, yeah. Thank you. I needed that.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Hit me with one.
All right, well, okay, so this story is more of just kind of a building block to, like, probably a lot of other stories that happened. But me and my buddy Zach, growing up as kids, we were, we were preparing for, like, a Red Dawn scenario. We wanted to make sure that if the commies did indeed invade, we had a plan, right? We would buy, when we would like scrounge up our change, we would go through the couch stuff. We'd go buy Soldier of Fortune magazine, and we would look up all the cool little spec ops weapon systems and everything. We didn't know fucking anything, you know what I mean?
You guys were useless.
But we would, we were probably, I'm gonna say 11ish.
Sure.
10, 11,
That
somewhere
movie
in there.
was cool as fuck
yeah.
when you were that old, too.
So we came up with, we were going to do a Black Op, okay? So, and Black Ops to us was just us dressing up in black and gallivanting about throughout, Dutchtown, basically. And what we would do is we would rig up, bottle rocket bombs, basically. And we would take a punk and we would put it in the middle, kind of like you would like a sparkler bomb with one.
Yeah, what's a
sparkler up in
bottle
the middle.
rocket bomb?
What we would do is we would tie up either firecrackers or bottle rockets or any kind of firework. We would tie it to the end of a punk, and we knew that a punk. We lit a punk, and then
punk like a little kid.
We measured.
Like.
We would measure how much time it would take for a punk to burn down. So based on that, that's how much time we had to get away from the target.
Okay, that's pretty good.
It was, we were trying to take it to the next level.
Yeah.
Had some. I went to Uncle Sam's, got some fatigues and shit.
Yes.
And got some fucking eye black, and we painted our faces up like Navy SEALs because we watched all those movies too. And one night it was. I remember, we used to always try and be really quiet. When his mom worked like really ridiculous hours. So like we could not be loud from the normal like sleepover times, 8 to fucking 11. She's probably getting up at like 1 to go to work at 2 or 3.
Yeah,
so like,
that.
So we're trying to keep it down, and we're doing we're doing like a blind training. They decided to blindfold me. Okay. And the idea is if we meditated on it long enough, we could know without sound where they were flashing the light, and then we would react, which really you could kind of catch like a little change in the light through the blindfold, but it made you feel really cool.
You were going to catch the light?
No, well, you had to strike where the light was at. You had to strike where the light was at, right? So
that's
like
next level shit.
Yeah.
Like I could see people walking around being like, he's over there. Someone flashing a light in a certain direction.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
Holy fuck, dude.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We're training for battle here. All right. Like, come on. So I got the headband on, and I'm fucking like in my fucking what's his name, Ryu fucking pose from Street Fighter, and like they like flash it over on the couch, and I hit the couch cushion, and they're like flashing in different parts of the room. I got a whole little 360 matrix thing going on. They flash it on their back door. They had like this fucking waffle iron fucking like thing that covered the back window, and they shine it on there. It's like 10:30 at night or something. We're trying to do all this, and stealth is the key. Like it's not just sensing where the light is. It's also you got to be stealthy, man. You got to be quiet. Yeah, you got to be fucking quiet. Yeah, fuck, we're in battle. Quiet. Fucking Isaac Craig. So he like throws it up on the back door. I don't know what he was thinking. And I go, and it's like, and like both of us are like ninja, like trying to figure out how to ninja vanish. Like he ducks
painted in black.
He ducks into a closet. I like go in the bathroom, and we hear his mom like coming downstairs, and like it's just his brother like standing in the room, just like. And she's like, "What are you doing right now? There's noise down here. I gotta be." And like
you pantsed him though, so it just looked like he was there.
So anyway,
the room fucking
I understand that story's
out,
pretty mellow, but just understand that the Wolverines were in constant training through my childhood, and
we're safe,
and we'll come back. Yeah, you guys are good.
We're good.
You guys are good.
They attack us with lights.
I got the February issue of Soldier of Fortune magazine.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, I know how to keep up. Yeah, for sure.
All right. I also needed to train for battle in my neighborhood because it was a rough neighborhood, dude. Like, St. Boniface neighborhood was a rough
rough and tumbling.
And I lived on the.
It's great CBD, by the way.
It's the best CBD at town. Skytrace Farms. If you lived where I lived, you'd know.
I mean, I live close enough to where you.
I don't know why I said that. It's just fun. Okay, so the apartments were here. There was a fence, and then my neighborhood was here. So the apartments are the Southwest Crossing apartments. My neighborhood backed up to those. I was the second to last house. I had a basketball hoop that my dad won in some like fucking Shop and Save Easter fucking garbage thing where they're like, oh, we put a bunch of fucking, they'd have those displays.
Sure. Yeah.
He won one of those.
Nice, March Madness.
So I got it set up in my house. Pretty cool. My friends would come over. Like basketball was my number one sport growing up. Like I was a little dude. I could dish it. I could dunk at one point in my life. A soccer ball. But I'll tell that story another day. So he gets his basketball hoop. Well, every once in a while, my dad would fucking wake me up in the morning. 8 a.m. people would be out there bouncing. And I'd be like, okay, Dad, I'll get rid of them. Well, there were some kids. I had there was an African American bully and then a fucking Caucasian bully on our street. Like that one ran my end of the street and the other one ran the fucking apartments. And everyone kind of fucking just was like, whatever you guys need. So this guy and his buddies were in my backyard and I fucking hung out with everybody. I was like, fucking, my best friend was fucking like, me and him were like the two funny dudes. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So we would get like, yeah, cool, yeah, like fucking all.
It's a good place to be.
Great place
Be
to
the
be.
funny
We
guy.
could make both.
Yep.
People laugh, both teams or whatever.
Yep.
It was a racist neighborhood. It's fun getting at it. What it really was. Like Southwest Apartments was that, and then all the white kids were like, stay over here. We got fucking Catholic schools and a fence. And I'm like, this is normal. This is normal. We'll cut a hole in the fence so kids can play together. Fucking weird looking back on it. So
I mean, it's fair.
it's a little bit. That's a little bit
how it
part of the
goes.
South Side,
Yeah.
and so,
Dude, I don't know how. I'm sorry to cut you. Like, I don't know how that even worked out like that. Like, I don't like our neighborhood was just segregated simply by who was at our church, and like we just had like just this block of people that just kind of was carved out in this weird direction. Where it's like, okay, these were all parishioners. They're all people you know. You could be the same distance away from your house in the other direction and not know a fucking person as far as you looked.
no doubt, it could be a different world.
It was a totally different world. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So I wake up. My dad wakes me up. Says, "You gotta get rid of these kids." I go out there, and it's like the couple of the tough dudes, and I'm like, if it was dudes I knew out there, I'd be like, "Get the hell out of here," you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're like, the dudes I was unsure about, I'd go out there and be like, "Excuse me, gentlemen." Weird thing. My dad's all like, "Whoa, fucking get those kids out of here," and I'm like, "Dad, they're cool, man. Like,
Sure.
fucking come on." And he's like, "Oh, I'll fucking ground you," and I'm like, "I'm in a bad position." So I get him to leave, but this other kid comes over later and he's playing. Well, then it becomes like, oh, they can play, we can't play. And I'm like, it's not like that or whatever, So there was always like these fights, you know how it was. It was kind of like Wanker and you, I'm sure. You know, like to a certain extent. It was just like these kids always fought each other.
Oh,
but
I
wanted
each other weekly.
I wanted
at
no
least.
piece of this kid, though. And he was kind of considered the badass. So we're all playing basketball in my yard later in that day. And he kind of he was kind of hot and bothered from earlier. So we're boxing up on each other. And of course, I fucking run off at the mouth, say something like, fucking nice LA gear, you fucking dork. You know what I mean? Everyone's like, did you just call him a fucking dork, dude? And I'm like, please don't laugh at that because that just makes the person more angry when they think everyone's
it's
in
their
on the
fault
joke.
for laughing
Everyone's
at you.
in on
it's
the
their
fucking
fault
joke.
for laughing at you cracking a joke towards that guy.
So he starts to fucking rush me. I had a fucking like a 15 by 15 patio of concrete. That's where the basketball hoop was. My yard was a shotgun yard, and then my house was at the other end of the patio. So he starts like backing me up towards my house, and I remember like that's where my air conditioner was. And so he's like, "Motherfucker," and I'm like, "Oh, we can talk about this." Yeah, we're good. And he pulls out, he's trying to get something out of his pants, out of like a hoodie pocket. And I'm like, oh shit. Because I had been knifed off of a bicycle once already. Like some kid came up with a knife. He's like, get off the bike. And I'm like, Dan, let's go. And Dan, I come back around and Dan's off his bike trying to unsell this guy on his bike. He's like, it's kind of a shitty bike. And I'm like, the guy's going to take your bike. And I'm like, whatever, that was a different time. So he pulls out a knife. And he's like, you sure you want to fucking mess with this? Something along those lines. And I'm like, oh, and I'm freaked out at first. It's a decorative butter knife, one of the real short ones for Christmas that is for cheese and crackers. And it's like dull as fuck, like one of those little decorative ones. And the handle is a candy cane.
Okay.
So he's pulling this out, and it's like a tense situation. Well, I'm like, I don't know what to do with this. And everyone starts laughing, and I'm like, oh, motherfuckers had a fucking butter knife, and they see that it's like fucking a candy cane and stuff, so everyone kind of starts giving him the business. He's like, fuck you, dude.
Meanwhile, he's wielding a knife.
I'm like, it's not that bad. I'm like, it's a cool knife, dude. Don't listen to him. Trying to like even still be the fucking mediator. And that dude would come, and they would cause trouble. Him and Dougie from the other end. And Dougie had parents that when they would fight, Dougie's parents would be like, get him, Dougie! Get him! When they were fighting each other on the street while we would all fucking go around. Unbelievable, dude. So I got a knife pulled on me, and it ended up being not so bad because everyone laughed at this guy that he felt so bad, he had to leave. And I was like, well, at least I didn't get stabbed. Game on.
I have a
Game on.
I started to feel bad a little bit.
Tied into the next one.
About
Say
you
it again.
picking on your diabetes, cousin.
I wasn't picking on diabetes.
Well, you're
people.
you're on the diabetes cousin. You're kind of giving him the business a
I'll
little
never
bit,
get
bullying him for the
diabetes.
fucking glucose and whatnot.
I was not bullying him for the
You were
glucose.
bullying him for the
I
candy.
found him.
You're bullying him for the candy.
No,
just
that was
because
a
it
joke
in a
part.
different wrapper.
That was a joke.
Anyway,
part.
I thought I couldn't get worse than that, but then I realized that actually the next Wolverine lesson was or exercise training was actually it didn't start to be mean spirited. It just ended that way. So we spent probably a good solid summer days. We got some pipe, we got some hacksaws out, and we started cutting these tubes down.
You're such a weirdo, dude.
All right, and then we put a little bit of heat on the tubes, and we bent the tubes, and then what we did was we made them kind of double barrel. So we stacked these two tubes, and then you wrap some tape at three different pieces of the barrel, so it's holding these two together. So it looks like an over-under shotgun, basically. There's a barrel up here and a barrel down there.
Okay.
All right. And in the punks, we left a little spot, or where the tape was, we left a little spot to put punks. So we would take the fireworks, and then we would, basically touch them to the punk, and then just toss them down the tubes, and then we just had like a double barrel, bottle rocket gun, basically. Okay, and we each made our own guns, dude. We went all out on these things. Like, they were fucking dope. We made fucking muskets and shit. Like, it was cool.
So you're essentially making pipe bombs than your parents have.
Well, but we're they're just apparatuses.
Apparati?
Apparatuses. No, he's on one. But I thought, where were we going with? Oh yeah, so
Apparandi?
They were just apparatuses.
Apparati.
Well, that's Anyway, so to shoot bottle rockets at one another. So we build this whole kind of a paintball course, like a speedball course, in my buddy's parents' backyard. So like there were just like obstacles all throughout, but there wasn't like it was you versus them. Like there was nowhere to hide. You just had a couple of little things to duck behind throughout the thing. Dude, we had a fucking righteous bottle rocket war. Like, we all had our guns. It was awesome. We had like smoke bombs. We were tossing them out there to get from point A to point B. Like, whatever. We're goofballs, And there's this Romanian kid named Bruce. And Bruce was, oh man, he was a lovable dude. He was just, was he
your age?
He was older. He was like 2 years older than us. But he just, like, he wasn't smart, dude. Like, he was not smart. And the not smart bell. The dunce bell. So we had an assortment of fireworks that we were firing at one another, and kind of the day goes on. I actually still have a scar on my left tit.
Oh, I've seen it.
Yeah, right there where a whistler hit me. That one fucking hurt. But anyway, the shit that I did at my son's age now, I'm like, my fucking parents would have fucking lost their fucking mind if they would have known. Anyway, so Bruce is sitting there, and he's looking at all these fireworks, and he is like, oh man, what do all these do? And we're showing him like crackle bombs and all kinds of little stuff, and then he's like, what are these? What's these? What are these right here? And we're like, those are called lady fingers. And he's like, well, why do they call them lady fingers? And we're like, well, because you're supposed to hold them in between your fingers like a lady when you light them. And so we got he was like probably 16, maybe. We were 14.
It's apparatus, you dickbag. Are you sure that's CBD? Bring Be Real and Jimbo up in here. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Jimmy Nugs.
Okay. All right. So anyway, we have this Romanian kid. We're like, the only way it works, you got to squeeze it real tight. And so this kid's like, and it's like, lady fingers are like, they're super quick fuse. Like, as soon as you hit a lighter to it, it's like.
Yeah, that fuse is about 0.7, 0.8 seconds.
So, dude, we blasted this kid's fingers into Kingdom Come. They're still there. They're still attached. They just
No.
They didn't he didn't bleed or anything, but it got him. It got him.
Was he frazzled?
He was.
Dripping
Yes.
off there. I did it. I did. Well, you know, it reminds me of my buddy. I knew this kid a few years older than me at Team Boniface. Not the brightest dude in the world. His name was, should I say it? It was a kind of a funny name. Jimmy May. Jimmy Mays. I think it was something like that. Maybe it wasn't that. But anyway, so he was a couple years older than me. And I go, we had, you know, bathrooms were like, at Catholic schools, it's like one person at a time.
Oh, not us, dude. It was a
Quick
free-for-all.
What?
Oh, yeah, it was a free-for-all. We had like 12 urinals down there.
Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, yeah, man.
Well, we had big bathrooms, but they were like, go by yourself, so it's creepy. I'm like, sure. Okay. And so I go to the bathroom, and, you know, it's always kind of, you're walking the halls by yourself, you know, like I'm cruising around, same time to go to the bathroom. I got my little pass or whatever, my little wooden clap thing, and I go in the bathroom, and I can see a pantless 8th grader who is scrubbing his underwear in the sink, and I'm 4th grade or whatever, and I'm like, huh? And he's like, he's scrubbing poop out of his underwear. And he goes, get out of here! Get out of here! And I was like, I will. And I ran away. And I never used the restrooms at my school ever again. That story made me think of that, though.
Oh, man.
Also made me think of this one time.
Did you ever get suspended?
No. I did get a lot of detentions for being late, but I never got suspended. I got in real big trouble because we had a war where we all took our sleeves out of our coats, and we're doing this, where you hit each other before school.
Yeah, sure.
And the principal threatened to murder us, dude. Like I couldn't.
That's how you fucking teach kids,
I couldn't
man.
believe her reaction. I cried, and it was funny because Joe Benson's like, cry about this shit, dude. He's like, he was one of those kids who's like, she'd be like, you're in trouble. He'd be like,
good.
I am. Oh, the teacher's gonna get me in trouble, and I'm like,
Oh, he was that kid.
ooh, I'm not gonna. Ooh, yeah, that's him. He's nuts. Yeah, that's crazy. Did you ever get suspended?
I did. One time, in-school suspension. Wayne Wanker. We used to be able to go home for school during grade school. Did you guys get to do that? Or home for lunch. I said home for school. Home for lunch.
No.
Oh yeah, dude. We got to go home for lunch. So, but the sacrifice you made was you didn't get to go to recess with everybody else if you went home for lunch, because by the time you got back from lunch,
Oh, you didn't get recess. You got pure unadulterated freedom instead.
yeah, it was pretty great. So anyway, I was leaving to go to lunch. The lunch bell rang. I go down the front steps of the school. Wayne gives me a flat tire and shoves me in my back at the top of the stairs to send me flying down the stairs. Now, I think he was just trying to be funny, but we have a history. I love him to death, but when we were kids, we're slugging it out weekly, usually because of something Chad or Joe said to one another. But
you guys were both hairy little beasts.
Yeah, little freaks with testosterone in 4th grade. We're like, fuck you!
Yeah, Wayne was using a fake ID in 6th grade.
Wayne Wanker and I, when we were in 8th grade, walked up to 7-Eleven at Chippewa and Morganford, grabbed 2 cases of beer on Memorial Day, and walked out of there. We were 13. Walked out of there, and just the two of us just carrying a case of beer back to the resurrection picnic.
Wayne was one of those dudes, they make him shave at the beginning of CBC, and at the end of the day, they're like, you're going to shave, man?
Yep. You could hear his beard.
I did.
Yeah. Anyway.
This morning.
Yep. So he shoves me, and I turn around, and I'm like, oh, you motherfucker. So now I've got him pinned up against where the stair, the fucking banister. I got him pinned up against there, and I'm just fucking working the body, just slugging him. All the kids are just kind of walking around us because Wayne and Craig are fighting again, whatever. And the principal, Miss Sedlacek, was like, Wayne Wanker, Craig Kohler, my office now. And I'm like, oh fuck. Well, we know the play. We're OGs. We don't hate each other. We're just gonna punch each other because we're being stupid. And so when we get in, she's like, what do you think a parishioner of this, someone of this parish would think walking past our school where 2 boys wearing our uniforms are punching each other and screaming obscenities? And
they brought back,
I'm like,
right.
Well, and I always had an answer. I'm like, well, the likelihood of someone walking by as that happened, pretty slim. She's like, is this funny to you, Mr. Kohler? And I'm like, no, I was just trying to go home. I'm trying to go home for lunch. It was a misunderstanding. We tripped over one another. It's fine. And so she's like, last warning, I don't want to ever see anything like that while you're wearing these uniforms again, blah, blah, blah. I go home for lunch. I come back in 25, 30 minutes. And that's when all the kids go from recess down to because we got recess into 8th grade. I don't know if you did. Yeah. So
we're going to take that away from
I know. What the fuck? A lot of middle schools and shit, they don't have that. Anyway.
Don't do that.
Anywho. So they're all going downstairs, and this gal, Shauna, who I saw last week, she was like, so what happened with you and the principal? I was like, what happened? Well, I'll tell you what happened. Wayne pushed me down the goddamn stairs. That's what happened. And Miss Elichek just happened to be around the corner. And she's like, Craig. And I'm like, fuck. So she goes out there. Dude, they got the fucking pastor involved talking about maybe they'd have to kick me out of school because I'm like, because I said.
You're like, that's a goddamn travesty.
That's what I'm at. Like, is this because I said goddamn? It's because I said goddamn. So anyway, I had a servant.
I said, "Gold darn."
Gold darn it. The gold dang thing, man.
That's what I'm saying.
I said he pushed me down the gold dang stairs.
I did get caught calling somebody a gaylord in 3rd grade. I was like, "Hey, gaylord," and the teacher was walking by the door, and she goes, "What?" And I go, "Gaylord Perry,
he's a pitcher,
baseball player," and she's like. He kept walking by. I was like, "Fuck me, that would have not been good."
No, yeah, I did some mean ass shit. I remember in 6th grade,
I was no angel.
I was
no angel.
No angel.
Oh, it's okay.
It's the eagle fell before the white rabbit.
Hold on. Let's have Mike read some of these. Mike, you want? Is he not here?
Yeah, I'm here, buddy.
Oh, okay.
What's up? What do we got
You don't have
here?
to say hi
Yeah,
to
Scotty.
everyone.
In the middle school, I got suspended for pot, and my principal was my brother's high school football coach. My parents were out of town, so Craig had to come pick me up and talk to his football coach about how his younger brother just got caught with a
How mad were you?
I was madder than a fucking wet hen. I had just stopped coaching at that school. I coached there.
You were coaching?
I coached. Yeah, I coached.
You
I
were
coached
coaching?
football at this middle school.
Holy shit!
Oh, dude, it was awesome.
Holy shit! Is there footage of that? somewhere?
Probably not. It's a good little squad, though, dude. It's a good little squad, man. And so, there's a picture of me at the time that the
hilarious.
kid's going there. There's a picture of me hanging in his gym. I think,
Of course there
yeah,
is.
with the rest of the team, and I'm like,
Christ.
I go in there, and this was the D-line coach for mine in high school. He was also my throwing coach. I was really close to this guy. I was a teacher's assistant for him one semester. He taught all the cool government classes. Super sharp dude. Played football at Mizzou. This dude was awesome.
Sandusky joke.
And
yeah.
no, he can't do it. Man. It's just
my brain's broke. I'll move on.
Anywho,
All right, so anyway.
so I go and I show up to. I get this call and I'm like, what in the actual? Dude, my parents never ever left town with the kids weren't without the kids for this reason. No, kid. I'm like, you can trust your kids, Mom, for 2 days while you guys go do this or whatever. I get a call the first day, and I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding
And you're
me.
in charge. You're like the older brother from Weird
Dude,
Science.
I was so mad I had fucking tears in my eyes. I
Oh
was
my-
like,
you
I'm gonna-
cried?
I'm like, I'm gonna fucking.
You fucking.
You're in.
How'd you look? Oh, here. How'd you look at him?
I said, I can't. You got any eye dry? I'm gonna fucking kill you. So that was kind of what it was. Anyway, I went in there and I'm looking at my coach and I'm like, I don't know where he got it from. I don't know why. He goes, look, I don't think he's even using it. I just think he thought it was cool to bring to school. And the fuck of it is, it wasn't my fucking weed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I'm not
They
an
think it
asshole.
was?
No, that's what I want to make sure is like,
Yeah.
why does this?
I never smoked
Why
that
does this
dirt bullshit.
fucking jazz, the dirty jazz cabbage?
I got a career in
I'm
football.
a man.
I'm gonna be somebody.
I'm
I
raising the
coach
youth
kids.
of tomorrow.
I'm not daring smoking that junk.
Absolutely not. And I like good weed, man.
Yeah, that's dirt shit.
Anyway, that was. I forgot all about that, Scotty.
That's fun.
That was awful.
Yeah, we got one from Brian Kessler. I got expelled from Resurrection because I told the yard mom to shove it up her cunt and then had to tell the nun principal.
Jesus Christ, you should have been kicked out for the C word.
He was kicked out.
Oh, he was good.
Yeah, he was kicked out. I think he.
Wow.
Good. He deserved it. He was also my neighbor where I used to live. His grandma lived right across the street from me. So Brian Kessler, I would always remember this, like, when you start thinking about like childhood stuff, little things start popping up to you. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I always remember there was this kid who would just come from time to time, and we called him ass fingers. I think his name was Barry or Burton. Bryant. Maybe his name.
Bryant. Yeah.
But we called him ass fingers because we would all be
Brandon.
playing football. We would all be playing football, throwing dimes and like putting it in a basket.
Put it in a basket, dude.
So we'd be playing soccer or whatever. Well, we'd pick teams, and this ass fingers would always be last, right? Because we'd be playing, and he'd be over there in the corner, and then sure enough, he'd be like. And he'd smell his butt through the front. So that was maybe Brian. Might have been Brian.
Okay, yeah, I get it.
Might have been him. We're about due for a break. We can sneak in. Let's do Mike after we come back from the break. Okay. Or should we do it now just in case?
No, we can do it after we
I'm
come
gonna
back. We
pass.
got.
Ain't nobody fucking doing me tonight.
Oh.
Yeah, we got a funny thing.
Don't have a choice in it tonight.
What?
That's what Brian just said.
Dick fingers.
Oh, funny. Stephen George Elgin. No.
I think that we should.
Scotty
Do you
was
want to do
smoking-
Psych Scrapbook now, or do you want to do that in the second hour?
We can. I have one more story I forgot to get to. Should
Let's
I
do
get
it.
that?
Let's do it.
Okay, so I had
I'm into it.
too, apparently.
a chrome bicycle.
Nice.
Well, I did.
Like
I
a
did.
dino?
So Trace Atkins calls it chrome.
So I had a chrome bicycle. I didn't. It was you had to buy like crappy bicycles every once in a while just to get your way. I'm sure it was stolen. All my bikes were stolen. So I had the Schwinn. It had nothing on it but that front little Schwinn thing, right? That's all it was. Well, what I did is I bought some spray paint. Finally got some spray paint. Because you couldn't buy it. You had to like obtain it illegally. So I get like some older brother to buy it. I go up to my buddy's house right at like Alabama and Holly Hills.
Okay.
Take it to that lot right there that's overlooking the highway. Spray it chrome. Everything. Handles. Pedals. Tires. Chain. Everything. I took it to pieces so I could get every inch of this thing just sparkling with the chrome dog.
You had that chrome drip, dude.
And it literally was dripping everywhere. It was horrible. You're supposed to go. Tss,
Sure.
tss,
Yeah, you don't want runs in your paint. Yeah.
I would just like.
Laying it in thick, huh? All right.
So I got this chrome bike, right?
Spread your Vegemite
I put
thick.
it all together, and I am just cruising down the street, dude. The sun is just like, I'm like, dang, I got to get sunglasses to fit like this, dude. Because I'm just shining. There's a hill coming down. You make like a circle down this hill, and then it comes down to this other hill, and there's a jump before these train tracks. So I'm like, time to test the old baby out. Well, first off, I'm like, why are my hands so spray paint all over my hands? So I just have spray paint all over my hands. I'm kind of like, bummed. Whatever, dude. I'm about to do the jump of the year. So I'm like, and I'm getting pedaling, dude. And I'm coming down, make a left, a right over down this hill. I'm like, here I go. I come to the bottom. My stepbrother's in front of me. He does the jump. Boom, lands it. I'm like, sweet. This is right there at Grand and Alaska or whatever that is right there. And I go up and I'm like, whew. And I see out of like my peripheral vision here, this chrome ass tire just going, vzz. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like you for a split second, I knew that's not right. So I come down on the fork, like at the base of these train tracks, dude. So my fork just goes boom. Well, my hands are stuck to the handlebars. So I just
Because oh, buddy, I've been there.
It just rips my thing open.
I've
all my
been
chin.
there, bud.
This is all ripped open. Face is all ripped open. So my stepbrother turns around at me. My wheel goes just flying by him because it had no tension on it anymore. I was like, see ya. And so he turns around. He's like, whoa, dude. And I'm like, oh, I felt like I had just gotten punched really hard, like that feel.
Sure.
And I was like, oh, shoot. And I look, and I'm like, Dan, what the fuck? And he goes, oh, my God. And starts riding away as fast as he can. I'm like, what is this dude doing? He just started riding away. So now I know I'm bleeding from here because I can feel it dripping. And I have no idea what I look like. I go, dude, you got Megs or pegs. You got pegs, dude. Give me a fucking ride, butthole. He took off towards the house to get help, I guess. So he takes off towards the house. I'm only 2 blocks from my house, so not far. I'm walking out like kind of in the street so I can see the car's reaction as they're driving by. I'm kind of like, and the people in the car are like,
Oh my God, what's wrong with that
kid?
kid?
Because I had all blood here and all blood in my chin, and they're like, Jesus. So I'm like, oh, something's not good with my face. I can't see it. I don't want to touch it. The last thing I want to do is fucking touch this thing. So Dan ends up going to get his stepsister, Jamie, who I have a sister named Jamie, so it's always been confused. Spelled differently. So he comes with her on the pegs, fucking busting ass down. So she comes down, and I'm like, and I'm still adrenaline filled. So it's not hurting at this point. I'm just kind of like, what the fuck? She comes up and she goes, oh my God. I start crying uncontrollably because I'm like, I knew it was fucking bad, but not this bad. Like you would have thought I had spaghetti face or something.
You were like Elephant Man.
So I get home and I just have a little patch of skin hanging here, which was gross. But it was just a little patch, and then a little thing
Strawberry,
here.
yeah.
Okay, so I get all stitched up, whatever, fine and dandy. I end up going to get invited to TGI Fridays next to Ronnie's. And this is 5th or 6th grade, and I was decent with the ladies, but I was like, hey, I'm the funny guy. Go. Would you be my friend? Maybe let me smell your bush. You know what I mean? I was that guy. I was just trying to be the nice guy.
Sure.
Well, I come in
just
and
bringing the laughs and the sniffs.
My mom lets me go to Old Navy, and I get one of those vests that's like made out of nylon, kind of like a fishing vest, and it's got all pockets and stuff. Like vests were in for a minute,
for
but like not a woven vest. This was like different, like a tactical vest.
Oh, wow.
Wore that with like a long sleeve, shirt underneath it and some jeans, dude. Showed up and had like a bandage right here and like a bandage. And I swear to God, all these broads were just like, what happened to you, big boy? And
Tell me your story.
See the chrome on these hands, it'll never come off because it's singed in now from the accident. Ended up, just becoming better friends with all the girls, which was good.
Yeah, it's great.
It was great. But that kind of shifted my life. I was like, you can be kind of cool, man.
Yeah, all you gotta do is rub your face
Except
against
I was
the asphalt.
always like, yeah, cool. I'll check you later. I always tried that. And then I'd be like, I'd be like, oh, shit, I'm sorry. Always messing stuff up, you know what I mean? So I could never really be that cool.
I don't know, man. You're pretty cool.
I'm cool in a fucking
You're pretty cool. I
way.
have a way less involved story. I think we've all gone over the handlebars on our bikes before.
Thanks for making me feel less
as a part of the. I don't know that we've all lost a wheel mid-flight. However, there's this kid HooSoph Tomas.
I love that name.
Lived right down the street. I only have I have plenty of memories of him from school and everything. But like he lived kind of up and around the block in this little duplex, and his parents were like real strict Bosnian. Like, I don't think they really wanted us to come hang out over there. He'd come play with us or whatever. My godfather
little
got
Portuguese bastard.
Yeah, they don't fucking hang out with that Dago is what they called me.
Really?
Yeah, I thought it was a little fucking strong.
Did they really actually
No.
go? Oh, I was like, God, they got it mixed up, didn't they?
No, Portuguese would win that lot too. Anyway, so my godfather got me this Diamondback mountain bike, and I like never really had like a badass bike. I always had serviceable bikes.
Yeah.
I had some Huffies, you know, like they were fine. They got me from point A to point B.
You were an asshole if you had a Huffy, dude.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think I had a Huffy.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking
You're
like
just
I'm talking
learning this now.
I'm
Like-
talking young. Like I'm not talking about like when like dynos came in and shit
Okay.
like that. So that was a little bit later on.
Yeah,
So,
no,
like,
my first couple were Huffies too.
yeah, like you know, my first couple
was a
and, like,
green
and
one. It
beat
was
the
fucking
hell
awesome.
out of
Yes.
it. Like jumped everything with it, fucking bricks and whatnot. Woo, you know, fucking you know what I'm talking about.
You
Yeah.
jumped a brick
No, like we would stack up bricks, like walls of bricks.
and then find a piece of wood.
Yeah, and then jump off of that
Yeah.
over the pile of bricks.
Just you're like jumping bricks.
Yeah.
Like you guys would set up one brick and be like,
Whoa, yeah, sweet air, bro. Anyway, my godfather got me this Diamondback.
sweet air.
Sweet air, bro.
It is off road.
They had,
two bricks.
there was a gas station right across from KC's on Merrimack and Bamberger at the end of my block, and it had like the way that the parking lot.
What was it?
Well, now it's just a parking
Was it
lot.
a market?
But no, it was just a gas. It was an old gas station,
I know,
filling
what kind of-
station.
what kind of-
Oh, it was like a small little mechanic shop that had
Okay,
like
okay,
a pump,
gotcha,
you know. And anyway, so I remember riding on the asphalt rounded up into the neighbor's yard, so it was like a perfect natural ramp, and it was gradual, so like it was kind of short down here, and it got up to the big end out by the street. And the day that like I was booking it on this thing, I'm cranking it. And I hit this ramp, and instead of going like that way, I went just that way, and then just hit, and then slowly just came backwards and like had the wind knocked clean out of me. And I was like, and right about the time I had realized what happened, I also realized that there was a bike falling on my face. And so like I came down, I'm windless, bike smashes into my face. My my rims all bent up and everything. So my godfather gets me this Diamondback Outlook.
Yeah.
And HooSoph's like, it don't look that fast. I'm like, it's 15 speeds, homie. It's 15 speeds, bro. You don't think it looks fast? Let's run them. Let's go up to Amberg Park, and we're going to race through the streets. Finish line's right here at my house. Okay? And, dude, we get going. And he's just like on like a BMX. And I get this.
No speeds.
No speed. 15 speeds, guy. And so I'm just cranking.
Obviously faster.
I'm cranking through the gears. I have gears, dude. I'm kicking it into new
So
gears.
you started at a high gear, so it's like.
But this was like a lesson in American firepower, man. I was like,
Oh, it landed.
yeah, follow it. So I'm booking it through the streets. I got a good. I've started coasting. I've got a good 40 yards on them. Everybody's lined up at my house. All the dudes on different sides of the street. And I'm like, look at this. He's embarrassing himself. And I get there. I'm gonna do like a stoppie, like an endo, and I'm gonna tail whip it around. But I'm coming in at like 20. I'm coming in at like 26 miles an hour. This is all about showmanship here, Steve. You know, but I'm coming in about 26 miles an hour, and I crank that front brake, buddy. And my chin drug for like a good 12 yards until I grinded to a halt. Oh,
Did he win?
fuck no! I beat his ass. I did that at the finish line. I'd be a dickhead if I lost the race and did that. I was trying to show him something.
Fuck no, I beat his ass.
I just beat it I just couldn't really celebrate my win because my face was running across the ground. All right. Those were some ridiculous stories from our childhood. Why don't we go to commercial break? On the other side of the commercial break, we'll give them a little psych scrapbook and then a minute with Mike.
Play our new commercial before we go to the actual commercials.
Which one? Native Hemp again?
Yep, I'm going to play that before we
All
go to
right.
ours.
Let's do it.
Ready?
Guys see you on the other side of the break?
Hey, boys and girls. I'm talking about native hemp extract. That CBD.
That CBD.
Get inside of me.
Inside of me.
That CBD.
That CBD.
Sweet delicious CBD. That CBD.
That CBD.
Got the CBD native hemp. That CBD.
That CBD.
You can get it from me.
I can.
That CBD.
That CBD.
Inside of me.
Inside of me.
That CBD.
That CBD.
Inside of me.
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 No. Inside of me.
Inside of me. Inside of me. Native hemp extract. 1,800 milligrams of total cannabinoid goodness from Pike County, Illinois. Get yours at HooterSophisticate.com.
Hey girl, where you wanna go?
I don't care, I just love you.
Are you hungry? Do you wanna get something to eat?
I don't care, I'm kinda hungry.
Well, what sounds good?
Anything sounds good, you pick.
How about some Mexican?
No, I had that for lunch yesterday.
How about we get some Italian food?
Ew.
Okay, now you're not saying anything and just giving me a
want
look.
something delicious.
What does that even mean?
I want to sit outside.
Applebee's, son?
Applebee's
No,
is
Applebee's.
gross.
Applebee's
I'm not
is
eating
good.
Applebee's.
I don't know why you're
Applebee's
always
fries
hating on
are
Applebee's.
disgusting.
Applebee's is one of
They're
my favorite darn
gross.
places to go ever.
I'm not eating Applebee's.
I wanna go to
Truman's. Let's go to Truman's. Soulard, go to Truman's. I wanna go to Truman's. In Soulard, take me to Truman's. We agree on Truman's. I agree on Truman's. In Soulard, I love Truman's. In Soulard, Truman, Truman,
Truman's and Soulard, a place we can all agree upon.
Shut up, you idiot.
James Carlton. James Carlton. James Carlton. You gotta get your insurance. Gotta get that State Farm insurance.
You think you found the best insurance agent in the game? Well, I got news for you. I did, and it's James Carlton. State Farm. CarltonInsurance.net.
961-4800.
Hey everybody, I'm just making this post as a little public service announcement. I recently had a roof leak and I got online and called the hashtag Roof Boys. They showed up and they didn't have a truck. They came out of the woods near my home, which was odd. When they showed up, I'm pretty sure they were children. The little one was aggressive. He was beating on my garage. He was shirtless and had a tattoo that said Bug Life. And the older one didn't have a ladder and said he would climb my roof by getting on the pillar and he was slapping a spatula around, which I don't know what a spatula does for roofing. So if you want a reputable roofer, I recommend you go to Lifetime Roofing and Renovation, located in Webster Grove. They've been around since 2005, and they're grown men.
Hey guys, it's me, Kippy the Crazy Koala Bear, and I'm here to tell you about James Carlton Insurance.
Kids, quiet down.
It's the best.
Kids, quiet down and listen to Kippy.
Grown-ups need insurance, and Uncle James can help.
Right on.
Grown-ups need insurance. He's got the best reviews on Yelp. Grown-ups need insurance if they want to protect their house.
Yes, sir.
Grown-ups need insurance if they want to properly bury a spouse.
That's a bit morbid.
Grown-ups need insurance if they drive a truck.
Okay.
Grown-ups need insurance just so they don't get...
Whoa, Kippy, you can't...
Well, I was just going to say
cannot.
get in trouble.
Okay, well, it
you
sounded
don't
like you
wanna
were going
get
to
in trouble.
like you were going to say something else. James Carlton, State Farm Insurance. You can find him online at carltoninsurance.net, or you can call him at 314-961-4800.
Back. There we are. Welcome back to Hoosier Sophisticate. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, turn that up. You want to do some singing, Craig? You want to sing to these people?
Yeah.
Just turn it on, Mike. Turn up the speakers. Oh, okay. Mike on the ones and twos. Mike, you can sing too. I'll bring up your camera. And we got something we want to tell you people, okay? Because we love our crew. We love the Sophisticated Hoosiers group.
We love you so much. We want you to make butter with a touch, a smattering of butter makes everything better. And this is where you get your butter machine.
How do you get a butter machine?
You get a butter machine by donating. For every $5 that you donate, snap at them. Got a song?
I was doing that so you could keep talking.
I got you.
Me and him are having a thing.
I got you.
Listen, you guys want a chance to win an easy butter machine?
Do you?
And a kind pen?
Do you?
Do you want to? Do you want to win these things? Because if you do, for every $5 that you donate to the PayPal link that I posted there, paypal.com/PayPal. Actually, I think you can just go to paypal.me/AubreyStrong. And that'll take you right there. You can donate for every $5. If you screenshot that, you post it on our original post, or if you send it in a message to Hoosier Sophisticate, we're going to put you in for a chance to win these awesome items. Dude, I was thinking about how handy it would be to just butter or oil.
How handy, indeed.
No, just to make butter or oil with just a touch, a simple touch. Just to pour it in.
These
and
all
press the
sound
button.
like sexual innuendos.
I said that wrong, didn't I? Just a little touch.
And then the kind pen. The kind pen is a
great.
tremendous for all your legal concentrates.
The kind pen might be over there if you guys got it. And see
Kind
it
pen. Actually, yes, I do.
See it, throw it
I
over
think.
Throw it over here. Is it black?
Yep, that's the one.
Right.
Here we go. See how that works? See how that works?
Legal concentrates. So anyway, we would love it. We raised Steve-O here played a little concert for Bangladesh, concert for Aubrey, and raised.
I call it my concert for Bangladesh. You know what I mean?
We raised money for a little girl, and it was awesome.
$650.
650 bones.
More
That's
than that,
awesome.
$780.
Boom, $780. That was just
maybe
from there.
more.
And we're gonna draw that on
Maybe
we're gonna draw that on March 30th. Is that right?
Yeah, next show.
We're going to draw the winner
what's
for this easy butter and this kind pen. If you guys want a chance at winning those items, donate $5 to paypal.me/AubreyStrong. It'll be great.
Those are my jeans. Mike, you want to read us some of the comments here?
Yeah, let's see what we got here. Replying. Nope, we're not going to do that. I received 100 messages today with Restream Chat. Best commercial yet.
He decided not to read the one before.
What is that? Replying
But he
to
read that
Mizzy
one.
Bliss, those are his Bruce Springsteen jeans.
Those are.
Goodwill.
He looks
Sorry.
good in them. He fills
My
the
bad,
Bruce
my bad.
Springsteen
I
jeans.
wasn't looking at the name. I'm sorry. See, Brian Kessler, I got you. Yeah, no.
We got a whole
segment. I don't do that.
Okay. All right. I do want to comment. I do want to comment that your little outfit for the native hemp extracts commercial had you looking as cool as I've ever seen you, sir. You looked like Jeff Lynne wanted to look throughout his entire rock and roll career.
I felt good.
You look good, dude.
Thank you.
You're like, that's an album cover there, bud.
I would take endocannabinoid advice from you too. Your character?
Oh, I hope.
Certainly.
I hope so.
Certainly.
Guy looks like he knows his way around a good CBD tincture.
Native hemp. Here, we'll show you how to do it right here. Should I do it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's how you do it. This is on our website, Who's Your Sophisticate. You can go here.
Go to the native hemp
If you
extract
support
tab.
the sponsors, you support us. That's cool.
That's just a fact, Jack. All right. You know what, Steve?
It's just a fact, Jack.
Hey, well, here's the deal.
What?
You've got something kind of cool going on. I've got something kind of cool going on. You created an intro for the thing that you got that's cool that's going on. I feel like that's kind of a nice little teaser, and we can talk about what it is that you're doing, and then we can flip it over to a quick little psych scrapbook. We got a psych scrapbook for March 23rd, psych scrapbook. Okay? So I just... Psych scrapbook. Psych scrapbook. We got that coming up, which is really just a teaser of...
You want to see my open that I made?
I would love to see I would love to show them your open.
Thank you.
I've seen it. It's great. But I would
show my opening.
I want to show your open.
I'll show my opening to them.
Open it up.
Okay. All right. Here's a guys. Here's a little something I made to coincide with the Missouri Cannabis Podcast. This is the video open. Hope you enjoy it.
I'll sing about a hold-up man, the best was ever known. He came from old Missouri State, where people must be shown.
Welcome to the Missouri Cannabis Podcast. I'm your host, Steve Elgin. Now let's do this thing.
That gets me juiced.
Thank you.
I love that you got this thing going on. So far, the content's been tremendous. You can find it anywhere that you podcast. You can.
It's been
find it.
hard, getting a hold of people, but we can always do phone conversations, Skypes. We'll figure something out.
We've got bountiful content that is super valuable. That all along, I feel like we've been looking for different avenues to make these things just easier to consume. That aren't just buried in a 2-hour live variety show. I think that's the best part about what we have going on is there's content out here as we've grown, and I mean we're growing at a really steady rate. We were just talking about the groups up to about 2,500 now, and that's just nice organic growth. And so many of those people have missed out on some really beneficial and strong conversations. I mean, I'd say once the quarantine or the lockdown has subsided, you've got interviews with Colton and with you know what I mean. There's just so many out there. I'm super excited about that, and I feel like when we can clip those things down to where people can go right to it, that's how we get the the most valuable information to the most people. This is a celebration of our community. Is kind of how I feel about it. We're gonna bring some value, hopefully, with every broadcast. But really, this is a place where we all come hang out and say it's like sitting around the dinner table. How was your day? Well,
Dude,
hey, how was
what?
your week? You know.
Actually, forgot. I wanted to get Nate Bowman on the show tonight, and I totally fucking dropped the ball on that. Nate,
We can
for
do
as
that
far as
anytime.
cannabis, I feel like I should share that podcast with him because he is so good and
No
so
doubt.
passionate.
He's great.
About cannabis. Nate on cannabis.
Yeah.
It's inspiring to me. Like,
No doubt.
we kind of have taken it in a bunch of different directions, and we've kind of been, labeled as the kind of the weed show. We are at all the weed events. Cool, that's cool. We talk about it a lot, but we got so much else. So many other things going on, obviously. And Nate is so good at breaking down, and that's kind of what inspired me to do the podcast. So if I could get him on board with that, like if we could do duo episodes or something like that, I would love that. To grow the network, we got Welcome to Our World, who just joined in.
Yeah.
An amazing podcast.
They have a great little podcast. They always have a fun conversation.
They do. They're
It's
really
a really
good
fun
interviewers.
conversation, no doubt.
They're really good, and their Jess's and Adam's chemistry together is
No doubt.
amazing, and it reaches a totally different subsect of people who are all about maximizing their life that may not know about. Because right now, it was people who are doing good in their life and drug users.
Oh, sure.
And now it's like, oh, Silicon Valley and microdosing, and I'm a scientist, and I've had a psychedelic experience.
We've
and
successfully torn down a lot of the stigma around
Yeah.
it. Like, as information
Doctors
has
are
become
studying
more
it,
available to all of us, as we've all been able to communicate and tell our stories, and I think that's why, Rick Doblin talks about, like, coming out of the psychedelic closet and telling your stories, because your anecdotal stories do have tremendous value right now. Breaking down the stigma is the most important thing that we can do at this point. And that's super exciting, man. Like, I feel like I've gotten tremendous feedback just saying, hey, if you're into maybe psychedelic science or maybe just hearing people wax poetic about the psychedelic experience, this is what I got. And like, a lot of people that I don't know that aren't even necessarily in this group are responding in a really positive way, which is, it's cool, man. There's a lot of people. I put it out there on my podcast all the time. Like, if you have someone you think I should talk to, or if you are someone you think I should talk to, email us. Email us at twain@mycelial.media. Same way with cannabis. Like, email us, twain@mycelial.media. If you think you can contribute to those podcasts, we're looking to have some conversations with all different. Like, for me, I want as many perspectives as possible. That's what the biggest teacher
growth
that
baby.
Psychedelics has been for me is the teaching of perspective and being able to kind of continuously try and remove yourself from a situation so you can see it and maybe make a more actionable plan.
Sure.
As it's in front of you. So I
can't wait for it, because my favorite podcasts from what I've listened to throughout the years are the Duncan Trussells, the Aubrey Marcuses, even Joe Rogan to a certain extent on certain episodes.
When they get into the right episodes with Joe, for sure.
And when I listened to you and Max, I was so excited because I wasn't hearing all of it because people were coming up to the booth and I was checking the levels. Like,
Sure.
okay, I want to talk to them. And just being able to overhear, I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to hear this conversation, because they don't know where the conversations are going to go. You start asking questions, it reminds them of this story,
Sure.
and then it reminds you of this question, and you guys you're a fly on the wall
Yeah.
for some of the coolest conversations
No doubt.
ever. So I cannot wait until this thing gets cooking, and it is the #1 psychedelic podcast around.
I hope so, man. I chopped 5 minutes out of the episode with Max, and decided we're going to bring the Psych Scrapbook back this week so we can give people a little taste of that, a little small taste, and then when we come back, I say we have some fun with Mike.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
So if you guys want to check it out, it's also available on all podcasting platforms. The Missouri Psychedelic Podcast. This is a little clip of Max Montrose and I at the MoCam BizCon back at the beginning of March. back to home. This is the Matrix, and that is home. And I have had experiences to try and put it into perspective with DMT in my system, where I was laying in what I call my cosmic living room, and then I was able to step out of this body and realize an infinite form in all directions that felt like stretching out on the couch.
Yeah, man.
Doesn't
it feel good to stretch out on a couch?
It feels really good.
Like just to, like
it feels
stretch
really
it out
good,
and
man.
lay and just like
yes,
that's you being in your body, And you know why I like these medicines is because I'm a thinker, not a feeler.
Yes.
And these medicines help me feel.
Yes.
And they help me get into my body. I'm always so in my head, man. I'm so in my head all the time. Sometimes it's just exhausting. I'm so high up there.
Yeah.
That it's
Nice
hard
to
to
come
be
to earth
grounded
and-
so. And here's a psychedelic one for you. You are what you eat.
Yeah.
And when you eat a cactus, you are a cactus.
Yeah.
And being a cactus is kind of cool.
For sure.
Because when you really are what you eat, and you really are, you are so well rooted, you are so well grounded, you have protection around you everywhere. And if something were to ever come around and cut your head off, it's cool because your head will regrow a body and your body will regrow its head because that's how cactus work.
Yeah.
And so from a psychedelic perspective, when you go through that rough patch, I'm just envisioning I just got my head cut off, but now that part is growing a new body, and from a psychedelic perspective, that's kind of how cactus works.
Yeah.
But for me, like mushrooms when they're growing, they're the most sensitive creatures that there are. They have to be perfect. They have to be sterile. One speck of bacteria will collapse the whole structure.
Sure.
And sometimes to me, that's like a bad thought. Like one bad thought, it's a bacteria in a mushroom experience, can grow enough of my sensitive mushroom being and collapse me from it. I think you kind of want to work up to that. Is that a teddy bear?
That is a teddy bear.
Okay. So what a lot of people don't know about psychedelic cacti is how vast they are in their speciation, subspeciation, and alkaloid content. Most people who do know that there are cacti types that are psychedelic only know about San Pedro and peyote. They don't know about all the others, the big spectrums. So there is a psychedelic cactus that feels identical to Molly, ecstasy,
Okay.
MDMA, methyl-doxymethamphetamine. And that is San Pedro.
Sure.
It's a heart medicine, and they'll tell you that it's a heart medicine, like your heart will blow out of your chest. And so, for anybody who's considering microdosing MDMA for MDMA purposes, maybe microdosing San Pedro could be similar and interesting, and at least just to explore, but obviously not the same.
Sure.
But there are other cacti types that are opposite from that San Pedro, where it's not heart energy.
Okay.
It's magic doing knowingness.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so there are some cacti that you can imbibe, and you are just brought into the world of how it works from behind the scenes.
Okay.
So, the Matrix right here has a basement, and it has a boiler room. And so in front of us is a curtain, and we can peel this curtain away and actually put our heads through and look and see what's on the other side. And it's literally these mathematical cogs in the wheel that are creating everything that you're hearing, feeling, seeing, and experiencing in this matrix of a reality right now. And so there are so many different types of cacti that do so many different types of things that, for me, if I was really interested in an MDMA thing, I might want to consider San Pedro just for doing it more the natural way than the non-natural way.
I'm with you on that.
So, it's just an idea. just an
like
idea.
your idea, and I'm going to build on what you said about microdosing, because if you are considering microdosing MDMA, you should know that the people with MAPS that are doing this with psychoassisted therapy, speaking with Rick Doblin, talking about microdosing, he says MDMA is not actually a great candidate for microdosing, especially if you have issues with anxieties or things like that, because it has more of a potential at a less than threshold dose to exacerbate your anxieties than it is. So you're
Well, remember, half of MDMA is methamphetamine.
Right.
And so it's like, so if you have anxiety and you're taking microdoses of pieces of methamphetamines, yeah, I could see how you could be a little
worked up. And honestly, that's my experience with it. My experience with MDMA feels very speedy and not very rolly. Like an MDA is that chain agrees with my chemistry a little bit better, but I would much rather go the natural route because there is a sentience to the plants and a communication that takes place with plant and fungi, brews and medicines that there is a legitimate intelligence that's passed along to us that's probably been shared not only among the plants but also through the fungal network that connects those plants as a mycelial internet, as the original internet between thinking things, and so I prefer the plant option as well.
I do it every time.
Every damn time.
Now back to your scheduled deprogramming. Your regularly scheduled deprogramming. All right.
Good job, buddy.
Hey, I'm excited.
I love Max
we got a lot of
mantras.
good. I've got episode 3 clipped.
I love
feel
that,
like the three of us, you, Mike, and I, had a great conversation in Kansas City. I want to share it on more platforms. It's going to reach more people. So I went ahead and took the Gospel of Luke for episode 3. We're going to treat some people to it.
One of the best conversations I've ever heard.
It's a fun conversation. And it's not it certainly covers a lot about psychedelic ceremony, ayahuasca, but it's also just a talk about trying to be better humans. Just trying to get to be better humans, which I think that's at the center of all of it,
The cool thing is being not at the forefront of the cannabis movement, because there's people who have been fighting this fight
decades,
far, far longer than us. But at the front of the wave.
Yeah, okay.
The front of the wave. Everyone's stoked about cannabis at the beginning, and then you start getting into cannabis where it's, I'm in cannabis. I just am in logistics. And you're like, cool, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're a part of the industry. But you start seeing, a lot more of, I'm not very excited about the plant. This is my job, and my job is dealing with this.
Yeah.
When we would go and talk to people at these conferences, and we're like, I like this strain. This is gelato that I've heard of. And we've got to start talking about cannabis, and then they'd be like, oh yeah, I did psilocybin one time, and then someone's like, oh, and then it would become this deal that the excitement, and not many things are as potentially life-changing and scary to people as psychedelics. They see it now. People who are anxious all the time or who have PTSD, they see it and they say, ooh, but that's gonna change everything, and it might be scary.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's a life change, and even still to this day, before a ceremony or before munching on them with your friends, and just having a little ceremony that way, when they're in your hand, you feel the power and the energy, and your body starts a reaction.
Well, my relationship with them is a very sacred thing to me. Like, it really is, like, more so than any other substance, like, and whatever that is. I think it's just because of the way that the communications that I've had. You're talking about how excited people get about it, and like, this is going to lose people that are just like, hardcore atheists or whatever, but just bear with me. Apply it to whatever your idea of the best case scenario is. But for me, like, it's hard.
Not adrenochrome.
It's hard.
What's hard? For wiener?
It's hard to. God damn it, man! It's hard to not be excited.
It's hard to not be excited about somebody coming to tell you about their conversation with God. And I understand that's going to lose some people. So whatever.
Whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
though.
it's hard to not be excited about someone sharing one of the most sacred experiences that they've ever had in their life. I mean, true sanctity of the moment, you know. And so for me, like, that's why I plan on having like a solid mix of people talking about psychedelics from a science standpoint, but it's always easy to segue that conversation into a more spiritual standpoint or a more esoteric standpoint where people can really describe their experience outside of trying to track numbers and track behaviors and things like that.
Well,
like most researchers typically have some kind of relationship with the medicine to just kind of have a frame of reference. And so I want to have the science conversation because I think like this mantra, this ethos that I'm living by, I'm choosing to live by is be compelling, not coercing. You know, it's something that I beg of everybody around me when they're trying to get me to understand their viewpoint or whatever. Like, hey, just be compelling.
Yeah.
Don't fucking force
Do
me.
this.
Don't coerce me to have to think some way. Just you know, there's a way that you can package it that I'll be way more receiving of. And knowing that that's how I am, that's how I want to portray some information out there. And so that's why I almost apologize a little bit ahead of time about saying, hey, I want to hear about your conversation with God. You know, I understand where that loses people. I want to hear about your conversation with Source. I want to hear about the time that you spent an eternity in a second. I want to hear about that time because how many people get to share in that significant of a story in that in a world where if we put all of the time that exists, that we live in right now, and we mix in the time that exists in that space, in that psychedelic space, and you like put them on a flat timeline, you're essentially like somebody is willing to share for me, you know, like top 3 moments, your kid being born, your first like breakthrough psychedelic, my first breakthrough, the day you get married, you know, the
First ZJ.
The first ZJ. If you got to ask,
can't afford it.
You can't afford it. But like I just think about how that what a blessing that is, and that's why for me, like I don't want to have to think about something new to talk about every week. I just want to hear every different perspective of it because that's all it is. That's all I'm convinced any of this is the universe experiencing itself, and every single one of us represent a lens in a really complex, like insect eye kind of, you know, kaleidoscopic reality where we are all reflecting a different little image of what it is to be a piece of the cosmos back to itself. And so it takes just this huge, wide expanse and exchange of ideals and you know, gods that we meet and, you know, weird blending of the senses and synesthesia. And it takes all of those things and people trying to come back to explain it to ultimately give this thing shape. And that's what I hope this podcast does.
That's pretty good, man. I cannot wait to listen to it. I think to the psychedelic movement is old but also new. So you're getting a lot of these really hungry scientists who are like, oh, what can DMT do? Where is it produced in the body? Psilocybin, ibogaine can cull addiction, opioid addiction by 80, 90. Like they're finding out these new things. We're on the cusp of something big here with the scientists being able to figure out what exactly is for the first time ever. They just imaged a brain that was on LSD and they figured out, oh, the whole motherfucker is lit up. And that MDMA thing back in the day was a farce where it had holes in your brain
that was all fake.
That was all fake.
It was just a slide of an MRI. Like
Yes.
it was just one sliver of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so they had us believe that bullshit for a while, and now we're figuring out, oh, LSD has the capability of opening up all of. I was explaining neurons to my kids the other day, and I think maybe even Jenny or whatever, like how we're right here, and it builds connects a wire, and then it just keeps
Now
going
they're
back
firing.
and forth, and it gets so strong that it's hard to disconnect those those ones that you have built in since you're a kid. The psychedelic experience goes. Pew!
That's the idea behind it helping with PTSD.
Oh!
It takes all of those hardwired traumas that are in your brain that have
And now we
basically
know why.
carved a rut, right? They've kind of
Totally.
carved a rut, and then this medicine just seeps in and kind of just muds it over. Just lay a little tape on there, couple of coats of
Now
white.
you can get right back into it pretty
Totally.
easily.
No doubt about it.
But it's
No doubt
giving you
about
a kickstart to get out of the fucking mud.
No
man.
doubt. It's not. It's none of these are a panacea. And you know what? MAPS isn't reaching out to the FDA for MDMA to be approved. It's MDMA psycho-assisted therapy. It has to be coupled with therapy, and that's part of
doubt.
that's part of the reason.
Therapy
why they
for
have it.
probably your whole family.
So I mean, there are, yeah, and we still got roadblocks on that. But as far as how many, bringing the family in and extended sessions after they're out of trials, like
Integrating the
we will
family.
get there. We will get there. It will be big. And I've been thinking about this for a few years now. And it seemed like Rick even kind of alluded to it, but maybe the next frontier after MDMA passes and psilocybin's moving along very quickly, the next frontier is probably ibogaine, just because of its unbelievable ability to remove people off of opiates. Psychedelics are I truly feel like psychedelics are the biggest linchpin in the global mental health crisis that we're in, which is honestly a big part of just overprescription. And it's interesting to kind of see everything with the quarantine. The first time to mention it, how much is coming back to life. People are talking about how the canals in Italy or whatever are all swimming. Well, buddy, I was in my backyard. I was looking out my door the other day, and we have plenty of wildlife behind us, but very rarely has it ever been in the actual just yard area. It's usually off in the wooded area.
Yeah.
And like yesterday afternoon, I see like just these two fat does just kind of just cruising around. I'm like, oh.
Hey, Doe!
Hey, Doe, what you doing?
You're so fat over there, girl.
You're a little fat over there. You're a little thick. Dang, girl, you looking thick little Bambi ass. Anyway, so dang, girl.
Sorry, we gotta get Bobby out somehow.
Bobby is itching. He's like just scratching at the door. Anyway, so there's a couple doe hanging out there. Well, last night I having a little trouble sleeping. The internet's not working. I'm a little spooked walking around the house.
A little spooked.
I step out on the back porch for some fresh air, and dude, there were like a dozen deer.
A dozen doe?
A dozen doe. A dozen doe. There was a dozen of them doe.
A dirty dozen doe?
Dirty dozen doe.
Doe.
They were just chilling, so I strike my lighter just to see, and a couple of them kind of turn, and they're like, oh yeah, he's just whatever, smoking a pipe. And then they just kind of go back to grazing. Well, then like I strike my lighter again, and now they're crawling closer to me. And I'm like, we've been off the grid for 2 days, 3 days. See you, bro. See you, brother. We've been off the grid for 2 or 3 days. Now these bold motherfuckers are just going to come in my yard and eat my grass? No, not today, sir. I got my bottle rocket gun. Fucking took him out. Got him, fucking tubes, baby.
That's why your lighter was clicking.
It was like clicking. They didn't. They're like, oh, he's just smoking. They had no idea that I had my galvanized steel pipe
That's a really big
bottle rocket gun
That's
when
a really big
I was
pipe.
11 years old.
Hey, Gary, that's a real big pipe. He's just fucking munching grass.
Whistlers are going off. And I'm like, what?
And this old deer's like, you dumb motherfuckers. That's a pipe bomb. You guys might want to run. This guy's nuts.
Commercial and then Minute with Mike?
Commercial and then Minute with Mike. Well, should we do native hemp again? Do we have it again?
No, let's give him commercial too.
Okay.
We can hit him with native hemp at the end.
Okay, do we want to read some of these before we go?
Yeah, we do.
All right.
Jennifer Barrow, this hero has...
I can bring Mike back to read it if we want. Let's give him one more chance. All right, Mike, this is your last chance.
This herd has been walking through our property
we got
every night.
Missy Bliss.
3 or
Jennifer
more years.
Barra. This herd has been walking through our property every night for 3 or more years.
Listen, first off, you don't show me up on my show.
Yeah, he just read that one.
All right. No, I'm not talking to Mike. I'm talking to my gal right now. You don't show me up on my show. Those deer have never been in our backyard.
Oh yeah, she
They've
makes
been
you
in-
look like an asshole.
Asshole! I look like an asshole.
She says, "Love you,
They have-
Scotty."
They have
Bye, Scotty.
they have walked through our
let's
yard,
see.
but
Don't
not
tell
like this.
Josh about those doe.
Not
Yeah,
like
his chemistry is everything. What's this? I'm gonna.
Doesn't hear you.
Ah, jeez. You want me to keep going?
That's your show, Mike.
I'm sorry.
All right, here we go. You are an asshole, says Missy Bliss. Jennifer Barrow, this herd has been walking through our property every night for 3. Oh,
You gonna read it too?
Barrow.
In my adult backslide.
In my adult life, I've totally backslid twice, two
twice.
separate times. One or two doses
1 or 2
max
doses
have helped me into the normalcy again. The first time was ayahuasca, and the second was a very different substance. But my mouth to God's ears, it saved me.
Oh,
I love that you guys are
snap.
teaching
Teaching
neurons.
neurons.
Teaching, I don't know, talking about them. Is Mike talking?
Speaking of
underneath?
neurons, how about ayahuasca?
Are you talking
causing
underneath this mic?
neurogenesis? I think he has. You can't turn him off, unfortunately. You got to put his mic on a different thing that you can control from here.
know. I
What
will.
the hell's
I
the
will
matter
next
with you?
week. I will
Giving
next
him
week.
way too much power back there. Way
They
too much
can't
power.
control me.
All right. Let's go to commercial. Guys, these are our sponsors.
Love you.
And they're great sponsors. James Carlton State Farm. Carlton Insurance.
You have it here, don't you?
314-961-4800. Okay? Give him a call. Give him a shot at your insurance. He's working for you right now. During all of this, he's working for
he
you.
is.
Lifetime Roofing and Renovation.
Roof.
Guys, go Google him. All right? LifetimeSTL.com. Go check them out. You need exterior work done?
This right before we get out of here. Keep talking. I got
You need some roof. You need some roofing action done. You go to Lifetime Roof. You need some siding action done. You go to Lifetime Roofing. All right. Truman's and Soulard right now, guys. Look, this is how the community comes together. You know what you can do right now to help out Truman's and Soulard? You can buy a gift card from them. You can buy a gift card from Truman's and Soulard. You can even buy groceries from them. They'll even sell you a 6-pack of beer. They'll sell you a ground beef. All right, they got a Hoosier special right now, $6.99 smash burger. You can go pick it up. Our sponsors are trying to take care of you. They've taken care of us all along. So help them out during this time. Restaurants need us big time right now. Local businesses need us big time right now. So get out there, help our people out. Sweet Leaf, dude. Sweet Leaf Emporium. We are about ready to embark on quite the journey with our friends at Sweet Leaf Emporium. They are so charitable. They're all about the community, dude. And that's like in the last week, I have really just doubling down, talking to you, like how important it is to us to have people that are fucking with the joke. Hand in hand. They know we're going to be a couple of dickheads up here, but they know where our hearts are at. They know where this community's heart is at, and they're a part of it.
Yeah.
That is so important to me. I don't want outside money. I want people that make up this fucking awesome thing.
A dirty joke isn't going to turn them away from raising $1,000 for charity.
That's the deal. Because that's who we are. Like, we're not going to be able to. I mean, we're not going to be able to paint on a fake face. So Sweet Leaf,
this hookah right now.
Sweet Leaf is in on this bad, dude, and I'm just so happy that they're along for the ride. And the native hemp, dude, native hemp extract, man, I'll tell you, dude. I'll tell you, it just makes me think of, this thing is just all American, dude. Illinois strong, Pike County, Illinois. I'll tell you, out of all the CBDs, this one's like an old Rivy, dude. Little Buick Riviera, man. Oh, dude. It was like, because it looks good.
It's a classic.
Buddy, it's a
homemade hometown classic.
It's what high society tastes like.
It's what good loving feels like. Yeah.
Native hemp extract made in Pike County, Illinois. Go get some, motherfucker.
Yes. No, other one.
James Carlton Insurance 314-961-4800.
Handsome,
amazing,
astonishing,
astounding,
fabulous,
incredible,
fantastical,
phenomenal,
prodigious,
stupendous,
unbelievable,
wondrous,
divine,
fantastical.
No, seriously, he's fantastical.
You got a house,
go on and get it insured.
you got a car,
You gotta get it insured.
you got a life.
Go on and get it insured. CarltonInsurance.net.
You take our insurance and are you cannabis friendly?
Yeah.
And they all said no. And then at that last phone call, that 8th phone call, I was like, do you know anybody that is? I'm desperate. I've called 7 other people. You're my 8th phone call.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm crying my eyes out. And this lady just felt bad for me and said, hold on, let me call you back in a few minutes. And they called me back and they said that they would take him. but under a certain amount of conditions. And the main condition was that if they felt that cannabis was not working for him, then they would take him from us and put him in and Child Protective Services, and then they would take the other 2 kids too.
Oh,
because they were both underage.
Then
and we would be charged with child endangerment.
So they'd go to federal prison.
Yeah, we would go to federal prison. So we said, bring it on.
Come to Privilege, I got good fries.
This is one of the best Cubans. I try a Cuban everywhere I go. And this is one of the best damn Cubans I've ever had. And we've got a little white cheddar mac here with a little cracker mac. Life-changing, incendiary.
Everywhere I go, I try the Cuban. This time I didn't. I got the grilled cheese bacon burger.
Look at that thing.
With put some pepper jack on there, some jalapenos. And we got some crinkle fries. And all I can say is, oh baby, grow baby.
As you can see, this was once a delicious plate of coconut scrimps, and I devoured it. And if I had to say, if I had to give a review real quick, I'd say it's an orgasmic feast of the senses.
And I love meat.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. We're having a radio show. We're about to do our minute with Mike, so we'll sing.
Hey, Mike, kick that sound down a little bit for me.
Well, we need it for a second, actually, because we're going to do our minute with Mike.
It's part of the show no one cares about. It's a minute with Mike. We give him a little bit of time on the show so we can actually talk, and no one really likes, but we do it anyway. Mike, true. There we go.
All right, guys. Here's our minute with Mike, featuring our guy Michael Ote. Tonight on this episode, get that, Mike. You push that other chair out of the way, buddy. That white one. That one that's the chair.
The one that's actually physically next to you.
I'm trying. It's really next to you. It's still in the way. Still in the way. Still in the way. Get that all the way out. Keep going. No, just push it all the way out. Damn it. I don't need this right now.
It's a minute with Mike. It's a minute with Mike.
It's a part of the show.
No one
stresses
really
Steve out. All right. So then this week we had Mike. What did we do?
Last week we had him pickup lines
pandemic
during
pickup
the
lines.
Pandemic pickup lines. This week it's reasons why Mike can't get coronavirus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Reasons why Mike is immune and can't get coronavirus. Okay. And we do have some pictures to throw up.
Here we
Mike, go ahead.
So
and,
I'm going to go ahead and reach over here in this little secret pile I have that I have not seen.
Okay.
Okay. So first one, I can't get coronavirus because I was baptized in River de Pear by a homeless
vagabond
in Wilmore Park who said the Lord will protect me from it.
Seems safe to me.
Biohazard team is coming.
I live right down the street from there.
I'm
so
not buying
I
it.
can,
I'm not
take
buying
that
it.
one.
All right, next one.
All right, here we go. I will pick one of yours. Oh, you got a Scritchy. Do you fucking know who I am? I was the 5th member of Menudo. Ricky Martin and I are immune to Corona because I blew him.
And they Menudo.
All right.
That's pretty good. That's 8 up.
Let's go back over here to this one. Father Ignacio.
Father Ignacio
gave me what is called the kiss of the guardian, which was really just a slow, wet, passionate kiss. I'm not really sure it worked after all.
Yeah, that's pretty good. He's admitting to it. What do the people say? Oh! They welcome you. A lot of whites in that photo.
A lot of whites
in that photo. Okay.
A lot of whites.
In my country, we call this virus La Chocha.
La Chocha.
La Chocha de la Muerte. Which means exotic cooch.
Exotic cooch.
That's what I said.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I said the Muerte actually means dead cooch.
Okay, what is the part? What was the extra part?
So that's something you don't want to stick your nose in. I
Okay,
gotta.
I feel like
I
ruined it by talking during it. People don't. They don't like it. They don't like
it.
it. They don't like it. I'm biohazard.
Biohazard. Paused too long. It was fucking stupid.
And you read it wrong. You read it wrong. All right, go on. The next one.
All right. I take leech baths on the fortnight.
Leech baths. That'll do it.
Okay. All right.
Do it.
All right. I can't catch coronavirus because straight up, I'm lonely.
That was pretty good.
I just caught it.
That was pretty good. Because straight up,
I'm lonely.
You read that really well.
I've been wiping my beard on as many public surfaces as possible for the last 3 years, prepping for this moment. Let's do this.
Looks like it.
Surefire way, man. Surefire way.
All right, okay.
Rubbing it on public toilets and whatnot.
What do we got here? I don't have corona. I swears, look at me. Now look at you. God, you're beautiful. You remind me of an angel. An angel sent from the prettiest parts of heaven. Now get in the fucking van unless you want a fucking super corona. Get in. Back to the fucking van. Okay.
Super corona.
All right.
Biohazard too.
Let's
Okay.
see.
Next one.
Mama didn't raise no punk ass bitch. That's it.
Okay. That was a minute with Mike. It's a minute
Uno
with
mas,
Mike.
senor. Uno mas. I can't get coronavirus because I typically eat my own scat. If anybody can DM me what scat is, I'd be very appreciative.
It's your droppings.
I'm not going to ask these.
It's your droppings.
You know what I mean?
You ate your own poop eater.
Oh, Jesus.
Poop eater.
Poop eater.
All right.
That was a minute with Mike. I hope you guys all enjoyed. I'll bring it back up here because we're getting into our streaming picks of the week. You know what time it is?
Oh, I guess I do.
We like movies, so do you. We like internet, so do we. It's the streaming picks of the week, and everyone is a streaming picks of the week, and everyone streaming picks of the week. We like the internet too, it's destroying us. Yeah, let's go get stores and
Yes, it is. All
What are you
right.
watching this
Good
week,
shit.
Steve? Well, I watched something amazing. And it's called The Tiger King. Murder,
I have
mystery,
heard
and
everybody
mansions
in
or
the
mayhem.
world
I'm here to tell you that it's, you know how we did those characters earlier and just did a music video, and say a production studio gave us a year to come up with intricate characters, an intricate storyline, and they said, you can't make these characters similar to any character that's ever lived on the history of literature.
Anything.
Or
Okay.
anything. And they're like, cool, I got 3 of them. It surrounds 3 big owners of, and actually 4 or 5 later, but you know those little zoos that you see?
Sure, little sanctuaries, animal
they're
sanctuaries.
the biggest. They're the biggest 3 in the country. One's in Myrtle Beach, one's in Florida, and one's in Oklahoma. The guy from Oklahoma, Joe Exotic, is a flamboyantly gay redneck who carries a gun on his hip, got a bleach blonde mullet, makes music videos exactly like the spoof video we just did.
Awesome.
He is... It's the most amazing. He's amazing. Wears eyeliner, marries dudes who
I knew I should have watched
look
it.
like they could, like the toughest redneck from Hillsboro, tatted up, no teeth, but he's like, I've got a pink rifle because it's just my favorite type of. And you're just like, fuck, you know,
he's an anomaly.
Exactly, dude. And then the other lady is like, I only wear a tiger print or leopard print or cheetah print, and all of my clothes are cheetah, and I'm a sanctuary. I keep the tigers safe, and I didn't have many friends growing up. No. So then that's the other chick.
Okay.
Her husband went missing at a tiger farm.
She feed him to the tigers?
Her rich husband went missing.
Did she feed him to the tigers?
I don't know. You tell me. And then the other guy is a polygamist.
The
He's
third
probably a
place?
third guy.
Okay.
He's got like long. He looks like the Witcher from the video game.
Okay.
Like a weak version. Like
Toss
a
your
weak.
coin to the Witcher.
Like
oh, Valley
Witcher's
of
like
Plenty.
pussy little brother who's like, I just want to fucking bag these.
Like more like Riff Raff from Rocky Horror Picture Show.
A little bit.
Okay.
Wait, which one's Riff Raff?
The Butler.
Oh yeah, a little bit.
The time
little
warp.
Bit. Okay, so and he has like he brings in these girls that are like 18. His name's Bhagavad. You know, like he studies under the gurus, but he's one of those pervy gurus who's like, oh, you're 17, I'll take you in for a little while and you can be an intern, and then I'm gonna change your name to Botswana, and we're gonna, you know, and I'm like, what the? And he turns them all into like hot Xeno warrior princesses, and I'm like, let's hear this guy out. Let's hear him out. You know what I mean? What you been watching, man? So Tiger King, it's on Netflix.
Tiger King. I saw
It's a
there was
series.
a wave on Facebook the other day where everybody was
buddy.
like Tiger King. Okay, so I think I got you on it a little bit. The Hunters.
I'm on episode 6, I think.
And I hit a lull.
Yeah.
Right at episode 6, straight up. Like I was watching it every night before bed. It's a little slow in the middle. It drags on in the middle, and also it's just kind of dark
gives me
content to
weird
consume.
dreams.
It's dark content to consume before bed. So and Miss hasn't been watching it with me as we've been going along. So like my windows to watch it are usually pretty late at night. So first day of quarantine, or actually it was Saturday morning or whatever, I got up fairly early. Everybody was still asleep, and I had 2.5 episodes left, and it did slow in the middle significantly. But dude, 8, 9, 10 are really good.
Okay.
10 is 9
good
and
as
9.
one?
Yes, like as hard as they brought us in, they take us out.
Set it up for season 2?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah. There's another season coming.
Okay.
I'm fucking juiced about it. And then I needed some levity in my life. The internet's ruined me the last few days, and so I started watching the movie Knives Out. We got it on the Plex, but I think it's probably available on either Starz or HBO if anybody's got it.
Yeah.
But it's like a kind of a murder mystery with Daniel Craig. Man, who are all there's you would recognize a bunch of the people in it. Jamie Lee Curtis, she's in it. But anyway, it's just it's a whodunit kind of Clue style movie, but it's just a little bit different than everything. Knives Out. It's
crazy.
pretty
I
awesome.
will no longer be participating in this segment. I will only be watching America's Funniest Home Videos from here on out.
It's about what we got to do.
Mike, what do you what's up with you, buddy?
Not much. I finished up my Planet Earth Saturday night and came upon Night on Earth. It was quite an experience. Right after the first episode of Planet Earth, I jumped into Night on Earth. And it gave a different perspective on animals in the nighttime with night vision, heat vision, and this geothermal. Like, dude, it was insane.
Yeah, it turns nighttime into daytime. It's pretty bitch.
It's insane.
What's it called?
Animals. Night on Earth.
Is
It
it-
is a limited series.
On Netflix?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. It's worth throwing on in the background.
That's
it's
my
pretty-
jam.
Yeah.
I love that shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's where
so-
I'm at.
All right, guys, we did it. We did it.
We did it again, guys. Just want to thank the new sponsors again. We didn't even get to the Tushy videos,
Yeah.
but guys, I love it. We did talk about it a little bit in the beginning. I
yeah.
think it's great, man. I think
You want
it's
to do them
great.
real quick here at the end? No.
It's all right. You
They've
guys
seen
know
our
where to
assholes.
find them. You guys have seen it. But I think that it's hilarious what was, I mean, I wasn't buying it as a novelty. It was something that we really thought that we wanted. But, like, after I got it, I'm like, oh, dude. Like, there was not even a tinge of buyer's remorse. It was my most...
No.
I was my most pleased with purchase I made of all of 2019 for sure.
What else is
now,
pleased?
My noose.
You're a noose.
my knot. My knot's real pleased. So anyway, it's hilarious to see like how many people in the group have gotten it. It's gone outside the group. You said they were talking about us on the radio because
They
of
were
the
talking
bidets
about
today.
us on the radio this morning.
I think it's hilarious.
That's awesome.
And
on TMA, a pretty big deal show. Like our buddy Plowboy was like, who's on the bidet train? Boy Craig and Cucky. Like they've been spraying their assholes for months.
for months, dude. Get it together. And straight up, what I think is even more awesome than that is the fact that we got people like Native Hemp Extract, Sweet Leaf on board. They've come recently to this community, and they're all about it, all in, and that shit gives me, hope. It gives me fucking just it motivates me to make this even better and to make it something that everybody wants to come out to our events. Go to the paypal.me/Aubrey Strong, donate $5 and a chance to win an Easy Butter and a Kind Pen. Like having awesome people along for the ride and our network growing to where when people need something, be like, oh, we got a guy. Yeah. They help build this community. Go check out our people at Sweet Leaf Emporium. Go check out our people. Go check out Native Hemp Extract at HoosersFisket.com. It's grown real locally by a guy that's in the group, and he puts a lot of work into it. That means the world to me. James Carlton State Farm will treat anybody that we send to him like they were family, and that is important to me. Same way with Lifetime. That's how it's been all along. Truman's has a special just for these people. All of these people have been on board with us two crazy dickheads telling crazy dick jokes every Monday night. It's humbling. It's awesome. It excites me. I'm ready to rock and roll and keep building.
I want to show appreciation for these people because I appreciate you guys more than you'll ever know. Like I do. I deep down in my fucking heart. But how many times can you say I appreciate, much appreciative? Like I can't just keep saying that. How do we show it?
Yeah.
A part of me wants to grow this and show, hey, we're giving you more stuff, and it's great. I do. I want to do this full time. I do, but we have to get more sponsors, and there's money involved. But if every part of all of our transactions, social and monetary transactions, a little part of us goes to the good. Just every little thing. That shit will add up. We've been doing this for years now.
Sure.
If we do this for 5 years and we keep doing things like Jason at Sweet Leaf was throwing shit at us to get. He's like, "Oh, you're raising stuff for Aiden and Auden, or Aiden and Aubrey."
Yep.
We had to leave.
Yeah.
Because
Before
we're like, dude,
bankrupt the
you're
joint.
you're gonna give the deed of this place away if you don't stop yourself. Being able to make little choices with our consumerism at this point is everything, and we just want to be able to give back as much as we receive from you guys because this fills us up.
No doubt.
Craig and I realize how lucky we
doubt.
are to have you people in our lives.
No doubt.
I mean, starting with our
spouses
gals,
and,
our kids.
betrothed.
Mike has been here fucking doing his thing. Like, I can't thank you guys enough, man.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can show it through stuff like this. Fun
doubt,
giveaways,
brother.
I think making people laugh too.
No doubt.
If you can really get them belly laughing, that's one of the fucking sweetest sounds
It's
on
the
earth.
best. We didn't even hit him with the freaky fun from the fan page this week. I think
that's fine. That's fine.
Catch
We had a lot.
Catch
up next week.
Guys.
Yeah.
I always have a blast. I look forward to my Mondays. Like they're game day for me. They're game day, and this whole little lockdown quarantine gives us an opportunity to kind of work.
Pixie had a great video too.
Piccarella had a tremendous little video, and then shout out to Adam. Adam had a great little Tushy video. Take your little Tushy videos and put them out there. Hashtag Hoosier Sophisticate your stuff out there.
Yeah, come on.
So let them know where you guys came from.
And Dr. Tiffany, if you have any questions about the CBD too, and we want to
please reach out to Tiffany
on the
Jones.
Show,
we want Tiffany Jones.
She is so knowledgeable.
She's a wealth of knowledge.
That's what this is turning into. We've had different discussions on the page, and we realize that some people are very, very strong in certain areas. And it's like when I had questions about the gun, there's about 5 or 6 dudes on here that I'm like, oh, you're a legit expert. You've legit dedicated
we have firearms
your
trainers
life.
in our group. We have guys that are reloading. They're building guns all the time. And
Lindner helping people out
No
too.
doubt.
We have legit personal trainers people have dedicated their lives
Yeah.
to different things in our group.
Yeah.
And someone needs it, and then everyone says, hey, fill me with your knowledge. Your
No doubt.
hot, sticky, salty knowledge.
Yes.
Mike, you want to read some of those comments before we get out of here? I'll
Yeah,
give you one
sure.
chance.
Jessica Evans replying to Missy Bliss. You two really do have 2 awesome dudes, and what's even better are you 2 ladies. Aw.
Hard to argue.
Hard to argue with
Jennifer
that.
Barra, I was actually going to mention to Jason that he should sponsor the show, so I am so thrilled to see it happen.
He loves you so much,
Also,
Jennifer Barrett,
replying
too.
to Missy Bliss, we're the lucky ones. We love you fellas. From Ryan Piccarelli. Brian replying to Missy Bliss. They changed my
Cinderella?
sexuality. Okay. We'll talk about that later, maybe. Replying to Missy Bliss, they changed. Nope, I just said that.
All right. Well.
Okay, guys, we did it.
We're
Thank
done.
you. Thank you for participating.
And as we sign off, for all of you sinners, this is how we do it. Of course, we tell you to be well, and then we say,
In nomine Patri et Filii et Spiritus Sancti.
I also want to say we're kidding about all of this.
Everything is a joke.
Everything
is a fucking
Just
joke.
Clip this part off.
Please.
Everything we've done is a joke. Okay?
Fair enough. You guys be well. We love you, Hoosiers. Everything.
I'm not touching anything.
Everything.
I'm not touching.
Everything.